Welcome to Free Beer Friday, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
Cool. Well, guys, welcome back to Free Beer Friday. How's it? Wait, where am I looking this today? That one.
Red light.
There we go. Sorry to point at y'all. That's really rude. But I don't care. Hey, Ben Easley, your host from the Bearded Monk. Right there. Yeah. But my eyes are up here, and my guests are both here in studio and on the sound waves. I've got Dean over here from Alaskan, and Tyler Lindquist is on the horn right now. Tyler, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hello, everybody. Yeah. on the horn.
There we go. And so Tyler can't be here to drink out of mugs this fine morning show.
I guarantee you he has his own libation.
You got a beer there, right, Tyler?
Ridge Hop IPA.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Again, he's got to come with something we can't get here.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
It happens, man.
I already blew it.
It's all right. You're all good. You're good.
I'm sorry.
Enjoy a really great beer. It doesn't matter, man. As long as we're all enjoying a really good beer while we're talking about beer. This is perfect. Okay, so we want to talk about a little bit of the history of Alaskan. Yeah, okay, so when you've been there for 20 years of the 30 years now?
30, yeah.
Of the 30 years, exactly. Over half, definitely over half their existence. It's pretty awesome.
Golly. All right, so what do you know about the beginning of this thing? Of this big old behemoth monster?
You know, our brewmaster, Jeff Larson, and his wife definitely, they were home brewers back in the day, and it became popular. They decided to open a brewery in 1986 in Juneau, Alaska, and it certainly morphed into, a nice brewery, and we were definitely just trying to share the goodness with the rest of the world, so to speak.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, and you were what number brewery?
67. We're the 67th
brewery.
Tyler, how many breweries are there now in the U.S.? 7,000?
I can't even keep count. You certainly are not going to count it on one hand. I mean, it's
it's every day. Yeah.
7,000 something.
Golly, isn't that crazy? Guys, this is where we're at in the craft beer world now. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, so you've been there for 20. Where did you get your start? Like, what was day one like? They were just like, hey, you're cool. Want to work here?
Yeah, pretty much. It was one of those moments where I come into the brewery, moved to Juneau, Alaska, didn't know anybody. I come to the brewery, pretty cool, and the next thing you know, I ask too many questions, and they give me a hey, you want to fill out a resume kind of a thing, and the rest is history.
Nice.
I mean, I'm here. It is wonderful.
Dude, that's awesome. That is really awesome. And here you are. Here you are today, 20
I'm still here, man.
later.
It's wonderful.
Man, that's awesome. And we know some of these beers that are coming out. There's some great stuff rolling out of that place. What does recipe formation look like? Like these new beers that we're seeing down here, how do they get started up there? Are these your brainchildren, or is this coming?
Oh, yes. There's, everybody asks, like, how many brewers do you have? And it's like 100. But everybody asks who gets to develop the recipes, and it is somewhat of a team-oriented thing. Anybody can come, has an opportunity to come and develop a recipe, and depending on how it gets received in the brewery, we'll brew a bigger batch to release to the public, and if it gets received even better, then we'll make it a bigger batch, and that's the majority of how our beers get made. I mean, it is somewhat of a, team effort. I think everybody here is a brewer, and everybody has a say in what's good and what's worthy,
Right on. Well, okay, so you say everybody. Are we talking like your brewing team gets a say in it, or are we talking guys in accounting, folks behind the bar?
Anybody.
Really?
Anybody.
Very much.
Yep.
Very much everybody. I mean, the brewers definitely do the majority, but, accountants and, human resources, like everybody in accounting, anybody has an opportunity with a passion for beer to come to the table and start developing a recipe. And honestly, that is
That's
half the fun, is to see what people come up with.
That is so odd because you
You know,
got folks from
we
all different
are
walks of life.
passionate beer drinkers. I mean, everybody here drinks beer, so that's kind of one of the prerequisites of working at a brewery. Is like you should like beer, and so everybody likes, to develop something that they want to drink. So
Right
that's
on.
half the fun.
So basically, when you were talking about the accountants, yes, the accountant, anybody in the
Literally gets
accountant
to brew.
department can sign up with a brewer and come to them with an idea, and then the brewer will figure out how to do it, actually. And then we have several one-barrel systems, which is, for those of you that don't know, a barrel is equal to 2 large-sized
Two big
kegs. Yeah, so one-barrel system. So we'll make one of those and see how it turns out. It goes up into the break room and lets everybody at the brewery that goes through the break room can judge it and score it. And if it doesn't do well, we scrap it. If it does well, it goes out to the next test, which is Juneau, and then the next test, which is Alaska, and then we just broaden it by there. Yeah.
More national at that
Yep.
point. Then we get to see it down here.
Then
that kind of thing.
Yeah, when we know it's a winner, then we'll ship it out to everybody else.
Right on. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. So it really is. Whatever your job is during the day, that night you're at home writing up recipes and then going back to work, and that's how my day would go anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Tyler, how much time do you have to spend in Q&A? Because we do have our own quality control laboratory, and every beer that gets brewed goes through there.
Yeah, pretty much. There is definitely, that part of the job where it's like, oh, you get to drink beer at work. I was like, well, it's not like a social drinking at work, but you do have to taste the beer at every process. So after fermentation, after filtration, when it's packaged, to make sure that it meets, hey, would you buy this? Yeah. And 99.9% of the time, it's money, and we're ready to go. So that is part of the program, and it's funny because it's 10:30 in the morning when we do that. And
Breakfast
so
drinking.
a lot of people are just like, oh, man, I don't know. I just finished my coffee. I don't know. No, but especially when we're brewing coffee beer, it's like, oh, perfect. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
That's a breakfast beer.
Yeah, that is
There you
absolutely perfect. Yeah. I don't know if. Well, I mean, even the Big Mountain, that's super light. I would have like a tea that morning and then drink this, so I don't have coffee rolling across my tongue that morning.
Tyler, how did Big Mountain come about?
It's one of those hop experiments where we were making a pale ale, and we were, trying some different varieties of hops, and basically it was kind of the Simcoe Citra and experiment, and that's where it came around. It's like, that is a great pale ale, and that it took off. It just took off. So had to give it a big name, Big Mountain.
Now,
Right on.
It's delicious. One of my favorite beers right now. I mean, when I drink that beer, I think of the Simcoe hop. There are other hops in it, but that's my main character for that one, is kind of a dank. There's a little bit of citrus, a little bit of floral. So it's definitely a wonderful beer. Definitely my after work beer.
Right on. No, different scent than I think of when I think of Simcoe.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is dry hopped with Simcoe, right, Tyler?
Yes, dry hopping, yeah.
I guess we should take a break too and mention everything we're drinking today is on draft right now at the Bearded Monk. So if you can't make it down here to try, what do we have? We've got Perseverance
Ale, which is a Russian Imperial Stout with a lot of homegrown Alaskan ingredients. We've got our Smoked Porter, which is, I think it's won a medal at just about every GABF that has ever been done.
Right on.
And it's done in a true German Rauch beer style. Tyler, how is that beer made? What's the process that we go through?
It's funny because the Smoked Porter is like the cult classic where we don't brew very much of that beer, but a lot of people know us for that beer.
Right.
It's definitely the one beer that you can age. Of course, a lot of people like to drink it. I don't drink it until it's 2 years old. I've been here for so long. I like it fresh now, and so I drink it fresh just because it is a little bit more, sharp and smoky, and like barbecue pit kind of character. And
It is so good.
so, and it is delicious. A lot of people here, the locals, definitely equate it to the fish beer because it has a smoked alder character, and a lot of people smoke fish with alder smoke. So that definitely goes
Really?
par.
Most of
Oh,
this,
and and I've always say it's like it goes great with a cigar and some fish. Yeah, it is
a
definitely
fire pit, some snow.
perfect.
cold days. It's definitely a great beer.
But you
I'm
know
all
what? You
about
get it
that.
cold enough, and it's good on a hot day too.
No, yeah. No, it's been great. What have we blown through, like 3 kegs?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah. No, it's done just fine.
Yeah.
It's done just fine. Yeah, there's so much good flavor to that. Well, okay, so we were talking – I'm a little interested in this. We were talking about this break room tasting system. What else is going on at the brewery? Because I've heard there's some really forward-thinking stuff like that with this green initiative you guys have going on. When did you start that, and what does that look like?
Are you talking about like our like the positive cycle, the renewable energy thing that we do there?
Yes. I guess I infer that it sounds like it's a green initiative. I don't know what you guys call it. But
Right. Yeah. Our main goal with that is to have a like a zero net negative effect on the environment. So basically, all of our waste product we want to reuse and reclaim our waste products and use those in some way that's beneficial to the brewery.
Okay.
So Tyler can probably talk about that a little bit more. Our CO2 and mash filter press and spent grain boiler.
It's funny. It starts with Jeff, our brewmaster, Jeff Larson. We live in this community and it's somewhat landlocked. So everything you want to think about what's disposable and what's not. So we're definitely keep that sustainable mindset. Whereas hey, during fermentation we're producing CO2. Well, let's recapture that CO2 and
Right
we
on.
use that in the process. And now we're we get the mash filter press where it's like, okay, well, now we're saving 1 million gallons of water every year. Like that helps, and it helps dry our grain because we don't have any farmers here to get our grain. And then so when we dry that grain, we turn that into fuel and what we burn to make steam that powers the brew house. And it's kind of that self-fulfilling cycle of hey, we're not wasting anything that we produce. So
That's amazing.
That's kind of where that comes from. And that's definitely always been a part of our, the way we think of things. And there's not a lot of waste. We try not to throw anything away, and that's kind of it. We're keeping going. And as far as I know, now we're using our steam that we produce to make electricity in the future. We're going to be producing electricity for the brewery.
Oh, that is awesome.
This is all done
Yeah,
off a
it's amazing. I'm really not qualified to speak on all of it because I'm not the engineer. I'm just a brewer. But it is amazing the way things work here, and just because we are so, landlocked and limited ins and outs, that's what we do. So
Yeah.
it is pretty cool.
So you're in this environment where you don't have these easy resources that everyone has, and you're also in that mindset of No, I don't want to speak negatively and say that other people don't care about the environment, but I feel that Alaska is very much in tune with the environment it's in this very fragile ecosystem. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, being where we do brew, I mean, we are.
We're
Go ahead.
surrounded by the beauty, obviously, and so obviously anything we can do to not, waste it or tarnish it or anything like that. So I just think that. We're in track with trying to use everything that we can produce and the CO2 and making our own fuel to fuel our brew house. That was a big deal. So
that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So and for those of you that are listening, the way this is done is so after you brew beer, there's always the grain product that you're getting the sugar from. That's in the boil. That's always it ends up on the bottom, and there's this grain. It's almost like a mushy cereal, And most breweries will sell that to farmers or give it to farmers as cattle feed because it's a great cattle feed. But we only have like what 1, 2, maybe 3 cows in the Juneau area, so we really can't.
I know a couple.
So we really can't sell it to the farmers or give it to the farmers. So we were drying it to get it down to the lower 48, having to go through the expense of drying it so it wouldn't spoil on the way down. Because everything that comes out of our brewery comes down by barge because Juneau is completely locked in.
It's not like you're going to drive it out.
No,
right?
I mean it's like it's an American import because we really are bringing beer down from Alaska via barge and to the lower 48. It's almost like a European import just on the other side.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
No doubt.
you guys are so far up there.
yeah.
So that's what spawned this idea.
I think it was out of necessity.
As far as the grain goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is so awesome because we do see a lot down here of these local brewers that they partner up with the farmer. Well, like today, I watched Denton County Brewing Company. I watched the farmer back his truck up and bring in empty barrels and pick up full barrels of grain and throw it in the back of his truck.
Yep, it's just another way of doing it, and we by recycling that CO2, we don't, or making our own CO2, we don't have to buy liquid CO2 and ship it up to Alaska, which we'd lose 20% by evaporation by the time it got up there in the first place. So we're losing money. It saves money, and we pass that on to the customer. So
That's cool.
Yeah,
Well, and then think about all of the environmental costs.
exactly.
So you don't have a barge bringing it up, or vice versa, a barge taking grain down.
Right.
Yeah,
we
that's
keep
pretty awesome.
That system prevents over 1 million pounds of CO2 from being released into the atmosphere every year,
That's awesome. Just by capturing reclamation
it and using it
in-house.
in the beer.
That is so awesome.
We also use the CO2 to purge our bottles and everything before they,
Nice.
So
On the
CO2
bottling line.
Yeah, so CO2 is a huge component, and we manufacture ours from the brewing of the beer. Beer-powered beer, my man.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Beer that powers beer.
Beer-powered beer.
Yeah,
like this.
beer-powered beer.
I like this.
Beer-powered brewers, too.
Hey, right on. Aren't we all, like, isn't this whole industry beer-powered?
I think so.
At least the staffing side of it is.
I'd say.
There it is.
It's a passion, no doubt.
So I wonder, with just a little bit of time left, what are we looking at in the future of Alaskan? I'm looking at both of y'all.
I mean, it's interesting because nobody really knows. Everybody, obviously, we have a lot of ideas running around. It's like we're currently, we got this barrel program we've been working on for a few years, and of course, we would love to share it with the rest of, our distribution network. But right now, locally, we're doing some barrel programs, and trying to infuse some of the local ingredients, and we're coming up with some great recipes with that. And we'll, depending on how awesome our recipes get, we'll definitely, be ready to ship that out. We're always looking for the next great recipe.
Yeah, that sounds tasty.
We're just getting into it now. So one thing about our brewers is they are very picky about the beer that they are going to release to everybody else.
It's why we see the quality we've seen over the last 30
Absolutely.
years. Absolutely. Yeah.
And not everything that gets brewed up there gets released to the public because these guys are very, very picky about what they do.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely fair. So if everybody out there in Radioland, if you want to try some of the stuff that Tyler's talking about, just hop on an Alaskan cruise.
Actually, what you can do,
go hang out.
If you want to find our beer, just go to alaskanbeer.com and look at our brew finder. You can punch in your zip code, and it'll give you every restaurant and off-sale place that has our beer and has purchased it in the last 90 days. So you can find it that way.
Nice. Well, I guess we're talking about that. We're doing the party tonight.
Yep.
So we've got the Alaskan White, the Perseverance, the Smoked Porter, and the Pale on draft tonight.
That's right.
At the Bearded Monk. There it is. Look us up on I just saw myself in the feedback monitors. That looked awkward. There we go. That's less awkward. Yes. So you can find it there tonight. Where else in Denton? Like who normally carries you? Who's got you on?
Well, we have.
What do you have going on? See,
we have a lot of the regular venues here in Denton that have our beer. It's hard to pick who's got it right this second because there's so much rotating.
Yeah, we all change over so darn quickly.
And just because a place has it in their beer cooler doesn't necessarily mean that it's out and ready to go. So the best thing to do is to, like I said, go to AlaskanBeer.com, go on the beer finder, put in your zip code. You can go down to 5 miles, 2 mile radius, however you want to do. And you can find it that way.
There it is.
And call it. If they don't have it, ask for it.
Hey, fair enough.
We'll get it to them.
Yeah, we can get it. We get pretty readily available in this town, right?
We've got beer. Tyler, we've got some beer up there, don't we?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
We've got some beer. We can ship it.
Please come to Juneau in the summertime.
That's right.
Forget that, man. I want to come up and get snowed in. What's policy?
Oh yeah, come on up and do that. Of course, that's when we're going to be drinking Perseverance. I was like,
I like this.
We'll hook you up, no doubt.
What's the policy if a Texan comes in crying and cold and has nowhere to live? Can we just live in the brewery? Would that be cool?
Hey, we're all humanitarians up here. We will definitely take care of you, and we got you covered.
Yes. No doubt. All right, I got a plan. If I can just make it up there, I'm just going to bum off of you guys. I'll subsist on beer for the winter.
No worries. Let me know when you're headed. I'll let them know to be ready for you.
Give them a little warning on the way up. Be like, oh god, this guy's gonna totally take over a booth for the next 6 months.
There's this guy with a beard and a shotgun hat on.
Oh man, Tyler, thank you so much. This is awesome.
Thank you. It's an honor. Cheers, man. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Cheers, cheers. I know that your time is very precious, and for you to give us these moments is pretty awesome. This is pretty awesome. And Dina, thank you, man.
It's an honor. Awesome. Happy Friday, you guys. Everybody, cheers. And
cheers, cheers.
Ask for an Alaskan.
I'll drink for that.
Right on.
Or I'll drink to that or for that.
Heck yeah, dude. All right. Well, Tyler, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the evening. Oh, well. No, it's not evening over there yet.
It's just late afternoon there. Yeah.
Oh,
we're working on it.
Enjoy the rest of your day of work. All right, man. And then everybody, thank you for joining us again for Free Beer Friday. Come party with us. After party back at the Bearded Monk. And then we'll be back out next Friday for another show and another night of drinking. Have a great one. We'll see you later.
Thanks all.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.